Imagine this. The air leaves your lungs. The world goes silent. And in that infinite second, between the last heartbeat and nothing, a question rises louder than any sound. What happens next? We've conquered so much. We've sent people to the moon, split atoms, mapped the human brain, captured the image of a black hole thousands of light years away. And yet, we still can't answer the one question that haunts every single one of us. What happens after we die? For centuries, we've searched for truth in temples, in laboratories, in the silence of our own hearts. But the truth never quite fits into the boxes we build for it. Because death isn't something you can measure, it's something you cross. Every civilization in history has tried to describe what lies beyond. The Egyptians filled tombs with treasure, believing death was just a passage to another life. The Greeks imagined the river Styx, souls ferried across by Charon. Hindus and Buddhists speak of rebirth. Christians speak of heaven. Scientists speak of energy. Energy that can't be destroyed, only changed. Different words, same hope that maybe there's more. But here's where it gets real. Modern science, the cold, rational kind, has started to see something strange, something that blurs the line between faith and fact. When the human heart stops, life doesn't end immediately. Inside your skull, your brain keeps firing for seconds, sometimes for minutes. Neurons send sparks of light, as if the mind refuses to go dark. Doctors call this the surge, a storm of electrical activity that appears right after death. It's not random noise. It's structured. It looks almost intelligent. Some scientists say it's just chemistry, the last flicker of a dying brain. But others, quietly, wonder if it's something else. A signal, a transfer, maybe even a departure. Because for decades people have been clinically dead, flatlined, cold, and then somehow brought back. And what they describe isn't chaos, it's clarity. They talk about light, a tunnel, a feeling of peace so deep it can't be put into words. They see faces, hear voices, sometimes even watch their own resuscitation from above. A nurse moves their body. A doctor calls the time. Someone cries, and they're floating, calm, above it all, until they wake up again. Thousands of stories, different languages, different beliefs, but the same pattern. Scientists call it a near-death experience. But what if it's not near? What if it's the beginning of whatever comes next? There's one case that still stuns researchers. In 2014, doctors at the University of Southampton conducted a massive study. More than 2,000 patients, cardiac arrests, clinically dead, no heartbeat. One man described watching his doctors work on him for 3 minutes after his heart stopped. 3 minutes, no oxygen to the brain. And when he woke up, he remembered the sounds, the tools, even a specific nurse's actions, all confirmed by staff. That shouldn't be possible. No heartbeat means no blood to the brain. No blood means no perception. And yet, he saw. What do we make of that? Are these people hallucinating? Or is something surviving the body? Awareness without form? Now, here's where the science gets even stranger. Neuroscientists studying dying rats found a spike of gamma brain waves the same kind linked to heightened consciousness, moments after death, a sharp, organized pattern, not fading, flaring, as if right before the end, the mind becomes more awake than ever. In 2023, researchers found the same in humans. When people die, the brain briefly enters a state of hyper-awareness. It's not chaos, it's order, purposeful, as though the brain, or whatever lives inside it, is doing something important in those final moments. But what? Some think it's memory, your entire life replaying in seconds, not random flashes, but a complete story, stitched together by your mind. Every face you loved, every mistake, every laugh, every tear, all at once. Others believe it's something else entirely, the moment consciousness disconnects from the physical. That's why people describe floating, seeing from above, not as dreams, but as perspective, a point of view not limited by the eyes. Think about that. When you dream, your body stays still, but your mind goes somewhere else, somewhere real to you. Maybe death is like that. Not darkness, just a different kind of waking up. The boundary between science and the spiritual has never been thinner. Quantum physicists talk about energy fields that extend beyond what we can see. Some even propose consciousness itself might be a fundamental part of the universe, like space or time, not created by the brain but expressed through it. If that's true, then when the body dies, consciousness doesn't vanish. It just changes frequency, like a signal moving to a new station. But maybe the afterlife isn't out there. Maybe it's right here, woven into the fabric of reality, existing beside us, unseen. A dimension we pass through but can't perceive while alive. People who've had near-death experiences describe colors they can't explain, sounds that feel like emotion, light that isn't just seen but understood. They all say the same thing. It felt more real than life. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe this, the world we call real, is the dream, and death is when we finally wake. Religion, science, philosophy, all trying to describe the same mystery from different angles. The soul, the self, the energy that thinks and feels and dreams. Einstein once said, "Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only change form." If that's true for electricity, for fire, for stars, why not for consciousness too? When a star dies, it doesn't disappear. Its light keeps traveling. Its dust becomes new worlds. Maybe when we die, our light does the same. And maybe heaven and hell aren't punishment or reward. Maybe they're mirrors, reflections of the lives we lived, the choices we made, the emotions we carried. Our consciousness recreates what it knows, what it fears, what it loves. Heaven for some, hell for others, each a world built from the energy we leave behind. Because think about it, when you dream, your mind creates entire universes out of memory and feeling. Maybe death is that, but infinite. There's a saying in Tibetan Buddhism, when you die, you don't enter a new world. You see this one for the first time. Maybe that's why people say they see light. Maybe that light isn't somewhere you go. Maybe it's what you become. So imagine this one more time. You take your last breath. The world fades, but then warmth, peace. The feeling of falling, but not down, forward. You see someone waiting, a face from another time, a voice you've missed for years. Maybe they're smiling, maybe they're saying, "Welcome home." And for the first time, you realize something. You didn't end, you changed. We spend our whole lives fearing death. What if it's not a wall, but a doorway? We look at it with terror, but maybe it's the moment we become everything. The air, the light, the memory, the energy. Maybe the soul doesn't vanish, it expands. And if that's true, if consciousness continues, then maybe every goodbye is temporary. Every loss only feels final from this side, because death isn't the opposite of life. It's part of it. The shadow that gives meaning to the light, the pause between the breaths, the quiet note that completes the song. So, what do you think happens after we die? Maybe the answer isn't found in science or scripture. Maybe it's inside us, waiting to be remembered, because maybe we've all been there before, and maybe we'll all be there again. Not ending, just returning